going out on the video chat. We got the Smilin one, Henry Burris from his hotel in Toronto. Good morning, Henry.
Ron, trains, planes, and automobiles. I've made it, buddy. How's it going?
Hey, awesome. I appreciate you doing that. And I guess I should say afternoon for you because where you are in the T-Dot. Can you tell our viewers and listeners, Hank, what it's like for you guys on the TSN panel on a game weekend like you're about to embark on? Just travel-wise and what you do.
Well, of course, I fly in from Ottawa every Thursday, just getting ready for, tonight's Thursday night football game, which is going to be outstanding in my mind. But yeah, typically wake up early in the morning, kiss the kids and the wife goodbye as they head off to school, and we head to Toronto. But yeah, fly in, I go get checked in at the hotel, and pretty much, I've already shaved, so pretty much, make sure the suit's ready to go, grab a quick lunch, head up to the studio. We got Sports Center taping at 5:30. Then we have our quick meeting before we do our pregame show with the CFL and TSN. And then depending on when the game starts, 30 minutes beforehand, we have our pregame show and we go live. So, it's a pretty busy morning and afternoon. But, it's stuff that we love. It gives us an opportunity to stay attached to the game.
How long does it take you and Milt to do your hair? Can you tell us?
Milt's a little bit more high maintenance than me. For me, I just shave and go over. Milt, he's got to look a certain way in the mirror and the receiver type stuff. For me as a quarterback, I'm old school. Just give me some shoes, give me a suit, and I'm ready to go.
All right. Hey, well, Milt was on last week. We get him. Can you get this trending? Canada's game of the week. I've been trying to start it for a couple of years. We've had a poll, and our respondents here, our viewers and listeners, saying tonight is Canada's game of the week. Clearly, you agree. What has you excited about Eskimos Bombers tonight?
Well, almost like last week's game, because you saw what happened when the Riders came to Ottawa and played against the Red Blacks. That was the game of the week, and to me, this game has similar implications. I don't think it's going to be a shootout like it was last week in Ottawa, but I think these teams are the top two teams in the CFL right now. Winnipeg 1, Edmonton 2, but I just think from top to bottom, you look at their rosters on paper, these teams are loaded. And they're not only loaded on paper, they're also backing it up and showing how they're loaded, with their productivity during each and every game. The way Edmonton's defense, Mike Riley in week 2 compared to Winnipeg beating them up in week 1, they expose people's weaknesses. That's how good they are. But now with these two heavyweights going head to head, they're going to kind of get the first chance to throw the uppercut and leave a mark on the other team's face to show them who truly is the best in the league right now. Two quarterbacks that are playing well, great running games, great defenses, great fronts on both sides. I mean, you can't draw it up any better. This is the game of all games that you want to see this week.
Hank, Kelly Rimple here. I have a question for you. I always said that if I ever had the chance to ask you this question, I was going to. When you left the Canadian Football League for your stint in the NFL, like other quarterbacks, when you came back, it looked like there was that you weren't, like, the mechanics weren't rusty, but the game was different, and it took you a little while to sort of get back in the groove. And I've noticed that with other players, even at the non-quarterback positions, that when they go down there and they come back, they're not quite the same, and it takes them a little while to get back into that old groove. Why is that? Even for a linebacker, I've seen that, and I've always wondered, is it just because of is the game that much different with the extra man on the field, the bigger field? What did you feel when you came back, and why it took a little longer to get that rust off?
Well, it's not really, in my mind, not rust so much. It's more just being comfortable with where you are, because defensively there's different implications and different things you have to get comfortable with compared to offensively. For a quarterback, it's the schematics, it's the verbiage that comes with the play. It can be the size of the field, the 12th man on both sides of the ball, but also having a chance to get actual playing time. That was my biggest thing. I set out for pretty much 2 to 3 years down there, just pretty much holding helmets and writing stuff on a clipboard. So of course you're going to be a little bit rusty, but really for the most part, it's knowing where you're supposed to be as a defender, and especially as a skilled guy other than the quarterback on the offensive side, knowing where you're supposed to be, having chemistry with the other guys on your side, which makes you hesitant when you aren't comfortable, because therefore if you're making a play but you're not supposed to be that guy making the play, you're supposed to be eating up a block and allowing somebody else to make the play. That doesn't shine good on the team, especially if you're continually doing that, because people will look at you like, hold up, are you being a me type player, or are you playing within the scheme of things? So there's a lot of hesitance to understanding the scheme, knowing what your role is, being able to go out there and play at full speed rather than being hesitant because you're thinking. So I think a lot of that has to do with it, other than guys just coming out there being the guys that we've known. But you see the same thing happen when rookies come up. They're just trying to feel their way through, understand what they're being asked to do. And once they gain comfort, look out them, because those guys are going to really turn it up.
Hey, Hank, lastly, because I know you're busy, will you guys talk on the panel about the changing of the guard at the quarterback position? Yourself, KG, Travis Lulay, all Hall of Famers, all not on the field anymore. Cody Fajardo, I don't believe, is bound for the Cooperstown of the CFL yet, but Donna McDavis looks good. Fajardo looks good. Are we on the cusp of the next generation of great quarterback? I guess we have to be, because you guys are done.
We have to be. And, we always ask that question, who's going to join? To me, in my mind, there's two elite quarterbacks in the league right now. That's Bo and Mike. I mean, those two guys have won Grey Cups. They've won MOPs. They've always had their teams up there annually competing for the Grey Cup. And then next, I look at Jeremiah Masoli and Trevor Harris. Those are two guys that are right now, to me, on the doorstep. And then Matt Nichols, because my thing is, are they ready to take the step to where going into playoff time, they give their team hope to be there, to do it year in and year out. Well, now for Trevor, he has a chance to prove that. Jeremiah has a chance to prove that. It's Matt Nichols' opportunity to have a chance to do that. But, yeah, we are looking for that next echelon. Who is it? We looked in Montreal. Oh, my goodness, we don't know what's going to happen there. But we looked in Ottawa. We saw last week 2 guys were on display with Cody and Dominique Davis. They put on an aerial show, and especially the way Fajardo closed out that first half, hitting those 2 big throws, and all of a sudden hitting Shaq Evans in the corner between 2 defenders. I thought it was Brett Favre down there making passes. But, we need guys like that to be stepping up to the table, showing that, hey, give us a chance. Let us prove to you who we are and what we can do. We can also put on a show, and that's what those 2 quarterbacks did last week. But we're waiting to see, who's it going to be, James Franklin? Who's going to be the guy out of Toronto? We can't wait to see and find out who that's going to be, because right now, markets like Toronto and Vancouver, and who has it, but Toronto, Montreal, they definitely need those guys to give not only the team hope, but also the fans hope, and somebody that they can go to sleep on saying, man, I can't wait to see that guy play tomorrow. We definitely need that resurgence, and it's good to see in Saskatchewan and Ottawa, we got 2 guys that are on the cusp of making that happen.
I love the nickname Smilin Hank, but I think I want to call you the Natural. The Natural. Anybody called you that?
No, I did love the movie, though, but no, I never told me that.
There you go. Hank, I'll be watching tonight. Thanks for fitting us in.
Hey, Ron, always love talking to you, buddy. You guys take care, and we'll be out there on site. The panel will be there on Monday for that big Canada Day game. Who's going to win? I think you guys know.
The Riders. We'll be looking for you. Thanks, Hank. Henry Burris. Love that guy.
Yeah.
He's just a super, super dude, man. And all these guys' support of this program has just been mind-blowing to me. You asked off the top in the warm-up, am I overwhelmed? That's the part I didn't expect. And that's where Clark comes in. We talk about DuPont out in Kelowna, golfing, smoking cigars, drinking brandy, on investor relations. Dan from Saskatoon writes in and says, does DuPont supply the booze and cigars? I can't see that. No, that's what the investor does. They got all the money.
That's right.
Right? But Clark, everybody's talking about the guests. Across this land are talking about the guests have just been top drawer. That's the guy on the other side of this wall. Clark Monroe's the guest booker. I never had one before in my life. Do you see how much difference a guest booker makes in a show?
Yeah.
When you have guys like this?
Well, you were lucky to get a sandwich at your last job.
Oh, it's over, right? It's over. Here, I'm having the time of my life. I think that's very evident, right?
Yeah.
And so Clark does the guest booking and a lot of the social media stuff. We got Jordan over there doing the camera switching and everything. We got Ryan doing the analytics and the stats, which are mind-blowing. We went off those at the start. Again, top 5 viewing cities of this show. Say it with me. Number 1, Regina. Number 2,
Saskatoon.
Number 3, Calgary. Number 4,
Winnipeg.
Number 5,
Edmonton, but most importantly, number 6, Estevan, Saskatchewan.
Estevan, Saskatchewan is the number 3 most viewed city for this program.
Home of Tony Saragella and family.
And all the Saragellas, which I'll be golfing with Peter Saragella, Peanut Butter Pete, this afternoon.
You gotta love a place that put real bacon on a pizza.
Oh, I know.
Like real bacon.
That's the Tower Restaurant in Estevan.
They cooked the bacon, they drain the grease, and they put the real bacon on the pizza. Like, it doesn't get any better than that. No, it doesn't.
Clark just sent a note on the prompter here, and he says, if you want your city on the list, do something about it. That's what he says. Because people are saying, what about Yorkton? What about my small town? What about this?
You haven't earned it.
No. Tell your friends. More importantly, share the show. That's how we're going to grow. That's how this all works. Share the program. That's how the show will grow. And as I continue to go along, and I mentioned all those guys, you asked where the makeup girl was. Well, Cassidy has more important things to do than putting makeup on the guys.
He did.
Guy? Oh, yeah, it was Guy Fieri. He said, where's the beautiful gal that put makeup on me last time? Well, she's working downstairs. She's not just a makeup girl. She actually has an important role here. So can somebody tell Cassidy downstairs, you guys probably all have the show on down there, that some of the guests today want to know where she is. They miss her. And then you got the two. Josh is doing computer stuff, all the animation, the video. Like, this is
big time.
Big. It's big.
It's like Sammy from Seafood Sam's.
Big shots.
Big shots.
Jody Robson wins the Jan Arden tickets for sharing the show on Facebook today. And I kind of envy you, Jody. You're going to see Jan Arden, Insensitive. Love that girl. Sunday in Saskatoon. Remps, thanks.
Thank you. Always a pleasure.
I'll be looking for you at the stadium, and then I'll see you next week.
Not next week, the week after. Next week, I'll be in Calgary.
Gotcha. Okay. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. We'll see you bright and early tomorrow on the program. We'll recap this Bombers-Eskimos game tonight. We got Troy Westwood coming on. Bombers great. Nate Davis, another Rider Hall of Famer, will be here in studio. And John Frenzy.
You're watching Rod Pedersen On Demand. For more of The Rod Pedersen Show, visit rodpedersen.com or follow Rod Pedersen on social media.